known for their extravagant parties. Please underline the word extravagant. Extravagant means what? On a large scale, spectacular, impact making. We also say lavish. Write the word lavish. Extravagant parties with cocktails made of edible gold. Underline the word edible. What is the meaning of the word edible? Something you can eat. So what is the word after that? Edible gold. Sometimes they have gold, but not the regular form, very thin, a thin layer, and garnished with diamonds. Oh, the international brand is now coming to India. This is a bit difficult, but if you read carefully and understand what the subject is, should not be a problem. Now let me ask a question. What is the subject of this sentence? Which one? Who says international brand? That is the subject. Please underline. The international brand, singular or plural? Then go to the first part, known for their extravagant parties. What is the pronoun here? Can you use there for a singular subject? So what is the correct expression? Please change. Its extravagant parties. Noun is singular, we have to use a singular possessive pronoun. What is a singular possessive pronoun? Third person singular possessive pronoun. Its extravagant parties. How many of you have got this one right? Please raise your hands. A bit difficult, I can understand. Shall I move on to the next question? Question number 67. It is pertinent. Please underline the word pertinent. Write the meaning of that. Relevant. Pertinent means what? Relevant. It is pertinent to mention here that the 4 incidents of arson, underline the word arson. Arson related to crime, looting the public property, attacking the public property, damaging the public property, any of these. I have a bad throat, I may keep clearing on and off, so please bear with that. 4 incidents of arson have occurred in the city within less than or less than. So where is the error? Third part, then is not correct, change it to than, T-H-A-N. Shall I move on to the next one? What happens when 2 musicians of a college band, underline college band. You all know the word band. This band is different, not a regular rubber band. Okay? Music related. What happens when 2 musicians of a college band come together and form a band of themselves? Is it grammatically correct? What is the pronoun here? They. What is the reflexive or emphatic form? Themselves. Please correct it. Themselves is not correct. Themselves. Now all of you write one sentence. Please write one sentence. They enjoyed a lot last winter. They enjoyed a lot last winter. Now is last, L-A-S-T. Is the sentence right or wrong? Why is it wrong? Here, do you find any object? And what is the verb here? Underline the word enjoy. Below you write a reflexive verb. Reflexive verb. Please write. And if there is no object, in the sentence there is a reflexive verb, no object. What is essential? A reflexive pronoun is essential. Then what is the correct sentence? They enjoyed themselves. Add the word themselves a lot last winter. They enjoyed themselves. Do remember that one. Shall I move on to the next one? 69. The topic became popular in no time, and some people were promptly enough to even crack jokes on it. Where is the error? Will you say prompt enough or promptly enough? Please strike off ly in the third part. Underline the word promptly. It should be prompt enough. They have given in many exams based on this word enough. Please underline the word enough. Below you write, it could be an adjective, it could be an adverb. Write both the parts of speech. Adjective, adverb. Now write two sentences in your notebook. The first sentence, he has enough money. He has enough money. Now in this sentence, what is enough? Underline the word enough. Which part of speech is it? Right? Adjective. Money is a noun. Enough money. Enough is adjective. Now write the second example. She is, he or she, it is your choice, otherwise you will think I have gender bias. She is clever enough to solve the problem in 5 minutes. She is clever enough to solve the problem in 5 minutes. Now here underline the word or the expression clever enough. Then you underline the word enough, and which part of speech is that? Adverb or adjective? Please write adverb. They have given in many exams, so do remember. Prompt enough, promptly enough is not correct. Please make a note what the question is about. Now please write word forms. Promptly, adverb. Prompt, adjective. Many youngsters have been taking time out. Does it sound grammatically correct? Do you have a pattern like have been taking? First you immediately have to tell yourself there's an error. But what is the correct expression? Many youngsters have been. Please, being is not correct, change it to been. Many youngsters have been taking time out. Have been taking time out. Which tense is that? He has been teaching, they have been going out, they have been taking. Present perfect continuous. Please write. Present perfect continuous. They have been taking time out of their frantic lives. Please underline the word frantic. Write the meaning of that. Frantic means busy. Busy. B-U-S-Y, busy. Tight schedule. Also write the expression tight schedule. Frantic. Also write the word, you can look at the screen, hectic. We say frantic or hectic. Always running, running, running. If you go to big cities like Bombay, the pace is entirely different. Pace means what? Speed, pace of life, entirely different. They always frantic or hectic schedules. Always on the move, running most of the time. But you got the answer. The question is related to what? Present perfect continuous tense. Shall I move on to the next one? 71. Underline the expression these days. Generally, if you use these days, you have to use present continuous tense. Please write one sentence in your notebook. I usually teach English. I usually teach English, but these days, I am teaching French. But these days I am teaching French. Here if I say, I usually teach English, but these days I teach French, right or wrong? Wrong. Underline these days. Then we have to use present continuous. These days I am teaching French. But English has exceptions, not every time. So these days, with the world being a global village, it is difficult to figure out. Please underline the phrasal verb, figure out. Figure out is American. Please write American expression. But generally, Indians, we don't use the expression figure out. We use a British expression, make out. Both mean the same. I'm not able to figure out. I'm not able to make out. Write the meaning of that. Means to understand. To understand. I can't figure out what he says. I can't make out what he says. Means what? I can't understand what he says. But the sentence is not very clear. These days, with the world being a global village, It is difficult to figure out the origins of your car. How are they related? I don't understand. But where do you think the error is? As far as my knowledge goes, we don't have to use the word with. Now, without with, we'll see how the sentence goes. These days, and there should not be, these days the world being a global village, then comma. These days the world being a global village, it is difficult to figure out the origins of your car. But the second part nowhere related to the first part. At least my knowledge, I could not make out how they are related. But where is the error based on that? Are you guys listening? Please tell me, sir, where is the error? Second part, what is the error? Please. When I ask the question, some response should be there. Shall I move on to the next question? Don't think if you say, no, I'm going to stop. It is only to involve you people. Now 72. Children's clothing. Please underline the word children's. Now which part of speech is this? It is a noun. Singular or plural? Plural. What is a singular? Child is singular, children plural. A common error I've corrected many a time when I would go for teacher training. Many school buses, you see something like children's inside. Is it right? There is no expression like children's. Child singular, children plural. So that is not correct. But here, is it right or wrong? Why is it right? It talks about the possessive case, apostrophe S. Children's clothing is a growing market, but while international brands sell miniature versions, please underline the word miniature. Miniature means very small. Miniature versions, write the meaning miniature, very small. Miniature versions of adult creations. Indian labels score with its emphasis on comfortable and fun designs. Now, where is the error? Fourth part, there is an error. In that clause, what is the subject? Please underline Indian labels. Labels singular or plural? Then will you say its or their? So, where is the error? Its is not correct, change it to their emphasis. How many of you have got this one right? Please raise your hands. Why only 2 or 3 students? Easy one. Where you thought the error is, or you could not spot the error. Whenever you come across lengthy sentences, do remember you have to have the ability to differentiate or make out how many phrases are there, how many clauses are there. Then look at each phrase, look at each clause, look for the error. Now, please underline all of you. Indian labels from their one unit, and here, while international brands sell miniature versions of adult creations, one unit. 2 different ideas. One goes with international brands, the other goes with Indian labels. And one related to international labels, one clause, Indian labels, one clause. When you look at the second clause which goes with Indian labels, the subject is plural. Then we cannot use a singular possessive pronoun, common sense. It's very surprising you cannot spot the error. That's why I say learning is one thing, practicing is another thing, having the ability to spot the error, one more thing, all are different. And the third one is the most important in the exam. How can you get the third one? If you practice a lot, you get it, otherwise not possible. You may know the rule, but you cannot spot the error. As simple as that. Shall I move on to the next one? But what is the question about? Possessive pronoun. Please make a note. The question is about possessive pronoun. A wrong possessive pronoun. They've used singular, they should use plural possessive pronoun. We have already started our exercise in this regard and will check for seeing if all the government buildings are following fire safety norms. Please underline norms. Norms means what? Rules. Write the word rules. Also write statute. Excuse me. What is the meaning of statute? A written law. Please write, a written law. Statute means written. Write, wrote, written. A written law. I had tea before coming, very bad tea. I choked on that. So that's why I said my throat got affected. Sometimes what happens, we have bad tea. Bad tea in the sense, stale tea, not fresh. Then immediately the voice gets affected and sometimes we get choked. That's really a problem. That could be the reason. But whatever, what is the meaning of the word norms? Norms means what? Rules. And statute means what? A written law. Now where is the error here? First you tell the part. Which part? There is an error. Who says third part? That's right. What is the error? We have already started our exercise in this regard and will check. Will you say perceiving or to see? To see. Please write. We will check. Are there students? Check to see if all the government buildings are following fire safety norms. Fire safety norms. To see, perceiving is not correct. To see, what is it? Which part of speech? It is a verb. Which form of verb? Finite or non-finite? Non-finite. Infinitive or participle? Infinitive. Is it a bare infinitive or present infinitive or perfect infinitive? Present infinitive. To plus verb, what is it called? Please make a note. Present infinitive. Without to, it is bare infinitive. With to, present infinitive. But superficial, you can make a note, infinitive related, verb infinitive form. That's it. Shall I move on to the next one? The boy was caught filming in the cafeteria by the lunchroom attendant and was told to stop and deleting the footage. Where is the easy one? Where is the error? To stop and deleting or delete. Please strike off ing, delete. To stop and delete. How many of you have got this one right? Good. And what is it about? Again, word form. Delete the right form, deleting not the right form. Just write word form. From rare insects to ferns. Ferns, you all must be knowing, they're very beautiful plants, ferns. From rare insects to ferns, people have named bizarre. Underline the word bizarre. Bizarre means strange. Strange. Abnormal, one more. But generally we say strange, not normal. Bizarre things after celebrities. Where do you think the error is? Which part? How many of you think no error? Raise your hands. I think there's a problem with the key. When I read the sentence, I haven't found any error. From, he talks about the range, appropriate preposition. From rare insects to ferns, comma, punctuation also no problem. People have named bizarre things after celebrities. Perfect. So what is the answer here? The fifth option, no error. No error. If you have any objection, please raise your hand and ask me. Any of the students. No error. Is that the last one? So who has got all the 10 correct? 8 plus. Please give her a big hand. That's really good. 5 plus, how many? That is also good, but most students should have, we expect most students. 5 plus should not be a problem at this stage. Now, shall I move on to the next set of questions? Yes, sir. Thank you. No, these are really good. I think after a long time we have come across synthesis. What are these questions related to? Please write the word. Generally, students say link words or connectors. Am I right? Connectors. Better expression. This model is called synthesis. Synthesize means what? To create. Natural, opposite, synthetic. natural material, natural fabric. Cotton is a natural fabric, and polyester, synthetic fabric, created, artificial. Now you see two sentences, then three options. You have to decide which option, with which option you can connect these two sentences. Here contextual awareness is important, and a bit of grammar knowledge is also required. The government has approved the budget for the year. It includes tax cuts aimed at boosting the economy. Now let us start with the first one. While the government, now here these two sentences are, do they express any contrast? First you have to understand, no contrast. It is like related information, add-on information. Something about the budget and some aspects related to that particular budget and what is the purpose. We cannot use the word while. Please underline the word while. Then don't consider. Now the budget, then what is the word? Please underline the word which. The budget, which includes tax cuts aimed at boosting the economy, has been approved by the government. Does it sound right or wrong? That means what? B is right. Please write the sentence, don't listen. See, these, I would like to tell something. Of late, they have been asking questions related to synthesis. A lot of students cannot handle, out of 5, if they get 3, that will be a great achievement or accomplishment. Very difficult, for 2 reasons. One, you got to be very good at written English, how to join the sentences, because these expressions go with written English. Second, within the stipulated time period, reading 2 sentences, looking at the options and thinking of the right combination, not that easy under pressure. So when I give the right sentence, it's a request, I should not request, please write the sentence. Otherwise, you never know how to get the correct sentence. The budget, which includes tax cuts, the budget which includes tax cuts aimed at boosting the economy. Now here we have to use a passive voice. Has been approved by the government for the year. Has been approved. Which tense is that? Government has approved, present perfect active voice. Budget has been approved by the government, present perfect passive voice. You can do that. Has been approved by the government for the year. Despite the tax cuts, does it talk about any contrast? So what is the answer here? Only B. Which option says that? Second option. How many of you have got this one right? I appreciate all those students, really good. Now we'll move on to 77. One village, this is a bit difficult. One village has been connected to the road network since 2009, and the other only has a dirt track. In the first village, prices and wages are higher and more people are prosperous. Underline the word prosperous. Prosperous means what? Rich, wealthy. Write 2 words, rich, wealthy. Now this talks about what? Contrast, some sort of contrast. One is positive, the other is negative. In spite of connecting to the road. But here, if you have to talk about the second one, which is in the bad situation, then it is connected or not connected? Not connected. Then you cannot use in spite of. Reject that one. If one village has a dirt track, can you connect these 2 sentences? If one village has a dirt track, the other village has something, but it is not, they are not related, you cannot connect. Here 2 things are important. One is grammatically, the sentence should be right. Second, contextually, the meaning should not change. That is very important. Now shall I move on to the third one? While one village, please write, I want you to write. While one village that has been or which has been connected, while one village which has been connected to the road network since 2009 and has higher prices and wages, higher prices and wages, and more prosperous people Now complete the sentence. I hope you guys are attentive. Complete, it is easy. Continuity, what is it? Comma. The other only has a dirt track. The other only has a dirt track. See, while one village, then you add information to that village. While one village which has been connected to the road network since 2009 and has higher prices and wages and more prosperous people, while one village which has been connected then has what? More higher prices and higher wages and more prosperous people. Contrast, the other has a dirt track. How many of you have thought of the third option? You have a question? How many of you? Please raise your hands. That's good, I appreciate. It is not that easy. What is the reason? Here, please give 2 stars, 77. Here you have to connect how many clauses? Rather, 2 clauses, and in the second clause 2 phrases. That is a bit difficult within the stipulated time period. Not that easy. But generally these, one advantage, what is the advantage? In the exam, do you have to write the correct sentence? You are very fortunate. So here you can save your time. Here I gave the sentence because you should have an idea how to, the complete sentence. But in the exam, you start with the first option, you are not convinced, leave. Second option, not convinced. Third, somewhere you feel, while one village with these, one village has these, the other doesn't have these. It sounds right. Then choose the third option, move on, save your time. So what is the answer here? Only C. Which option says that? Third option. '78. Shall I read out? The aim of eradicating, underline the word eradicate, eradicating. The aim of eradicating extreme poverty in the next 15 years is not overly ambitious. Underline the expression, overly ambitious. Is not overly ambitious. A recent data suggests that the income of the bottom 40% has been growing faster than the national average in many countries. Now, can you start with the income? Does it sound right? No. What is the second one? Eradicating extreme poverty in the next 15 years is not overly ambitious because a recent data suggests that the income of the bottom 40%. Do you see the continuity? Please respond. So, do you think B is right or wrong? Please write the sentence. Eradicating extreme poverty in the next 15 years is not overly ambitious. Then you are giving the reason. Why is it not overly ambitious? Because a recent data suggests that the income of the bottom 40% has been growing. You just use a symbol for that clause. Second sentence. Write because, then write this symbol. After because, use this symbol. What does it mean? After that, all this symbol represents the second sentence. You can save your time. So B is right. C. According to the recent data, the income of the bottom 40% has been growing faster than the national average in many countries, comma. So, what is it? So, the aim of eradicating extreme poverty in the next 15 years is not overly ambitious. Right or wrong? That means what? B is right, C is right. Which option says that? Second option. How many of you have got this one right? That's very good. I appreciate those students who can answer, not that others are bad, I appreciate. Those who can answer these questions, they are ready for the exam. In the sense, they are at a different level altogether, because they are not that easy. A lot of candidates, For two reasons, as I said. One is, if you have a lot of time, you all can answer these questions. But how much time do you get in the exam? 2 or 3 minutes. Each question, maximum 1 minute. Within that short period, not that easy. Even those who are good at English, sometimes they may go wrong. They may not get the right answer. So nothing to worry. Shall I read the next one? What is the question number 79? This is easy. He was head of Britain's Financial Regulatory Authority. He has now been appointed chairman of the bank with the responsibility of making sure the bank's staff follows the letter of the law. The letter of the law means following the rules and regulations. But do remember the expression. Underline the expression, the letter of the law. From the context you can make out, follow the rules and regulations. Now, is it contrasting or reason or add-on information? Add-on. Earlier the head, can we start that way? Earlier the head of Britain's Financial Regulatory Authority, comma, he has now been appointed. Seems right or wrong? Seems right. So it is right. Please mark first one. Earlier the head of Britain's Financial Regulatory Authority, comma, he has now been, generally we say now he has been. You can also say he has now been appointed. Emphasis. The responsibility. Does it go with this? Can you join? No. In order to follow, can you use this? No. So what is the answer here? Only A. Which option says that? First option is the answer. How many of you have got this one right? How come no one that side? I thought easy one, but doesn't matter. Now 80. 3D printers are selling fast. This does not spell the end of traditional factories. Please underline the word spell. Spell the end. What do you understand? This is an idiomatic expression. It has nothing to do with the word spell. Spell the end means what? Mark the end. Mark. Indicate. Mark. M-A-R-K. This does not mark the end of traditional factories, and these are being used by them to better existing manufacturing processes. Now, first one is easy. What is the first option? Although 3D printers are selling fast, comma, this does not spell the end of. Seems right or wrong? Mark A. For fast selling, does it sound right? Mark B wrong. Instead of spelling the end of traditional factories and these are being used by them to better existing. No. Please write the sentence. Instead of spelling the end, of traditional factories, hope you are writing. Instead of spelling the end of traditional factories, comma, 3D printers are selling fast. 3D printers are selling fast, and these are being used by them. These are being used by them, not required, it is understood. These are being used to better existing manufacturing processes. These are being used to better existing manufacturing processes. So does it sound right or wrong? That means what? A is right, C is right. Which option says that? First option is the answer. I would like to know who has got, I don't want to say 5, all the 5 not possible, too ambitious. 3 or 3 plus. That's very good. I appreciate all those students. Keep it up. Really good. Shall I move on to the next set of questions? What do they deal with? Oh. Some words in bold. I forgot. Okay. Please, I think you can make out. This is what you see in bold. Meet some of India's youngest PIL crusaders. Crusaders, please underline. I think you got the word crusade yesterday, fight against something. Crusaders who have forsake. What is the clue for you? First you underline have. Then forsake is a verb. Have, can you use that in that form? Which form are you supposed to use? past participle. So at the outset, do you think it is right or wrong? Mark it wrong. Now, how many options with, please underline the first option, the second option, third is not correct, fourth is not correct. That means what you have to decide between the first and the second. Meet some of India's youngest PIL crusaders who have forsaken the pleasurable of lazy cafe, not correct. Forsaken the pleasures of, that seems grammatically correct, contextually correct, meaning-wise correct. So what is the answer here? The second option is the answer. Please write the meaning of forsake. Abandon. Forsake means what? Abandon. Abandon or leave. Leave. Abandon. Give up. Also write the phrasal verb, give up. Now what is in bold here? Shall I read out the sentence? School lunches in the US are not the nutritious, delicious affairs they are made out being on the online menus. This is your gut feeling. Do you think it is right or wrong? Made out being on the. This is based on contextual awareness, exposure to the language. First you mark it wrong. It is not correct. Now what is the answer? Here it is in passive voice. Make out being. Do you think it is right? Or made out to be. Made out to be on the online menus. Have they given on the? Made out to be on the online menus. What is the third? Are made to. The online, not correct. Making to be, not correct. They should not have given on the in bold. Then what do you get? Hope you guys are attentive. What do you get? They are, what is the option I said? Made out to be. Then this part is not in bold. They are made out to be on the online menus. So what is the answer here? Second option, are made out to be. To be where? On the online menus. Who has got this right? That's good. Now 83. Easy one. The rumor was spreading wildfire. What is in bold here? Was spreading wildfire. But if you are good at English, you are exposed to the language, you know something is wrong. How many of you have thought this is not correct? First you make a note, it is not correct. That's good. It's a common expression and it goes with rumors. Rumors always spread like wildfire. What is the word missing? Like. What is the first option? The rumor spread like wildfire on the social media. Seems right? Hold that one. Can you say the rumor was spread? Was spread not grammatically correct. The rumor spreading without to be, it is not correct. The rumor were. Rumor singular, you cannot use were. So what is the answer here? The rumor spread like wildfire. Generally we use, when we use this expression, the word like, it spread like wildfire. Typical expression. So what is the answer here? First option, the rumor spread like wildfire. How many of you have got this one right? That's good. Shall I move on to, is it 84? Italian restaurants across the country are celebrating regional artisanal pastas. Pasta is an Italian dish, you all must be knowing. Giving the pedestrian, pedestrian means what? One who walks, pedestrian. Pedestrian, penne and mundane macaroni, a miss. What is in bold here? These are also Italian dishes, not mundane. Mundane means regular, usual. Macaroni, that is a dish. A miss is in bold, am I right? Now, how many of you have thought, no correction required? That is the answer. They gave what? Pastors giving something a miss. They gave it a miss. Please write one sentence. They gave 2 important points amiss. Something, they gave something amiss. That something could be anything. Here, what is the expression amiss? They gave it amiss. Generally, we use a pronoun. Please write one more sentence. They gave it amiss. If you say they give it to a miss, the meaning changes. Don't use to. They gave it a miss. Means what? They skipped that one. They did not consider that one. So how many of you have thought no error? Raise your hands. That is good, really good. I appreciate. But I think there is a problem with the key. The key says something else. Not at all right. Answer is the 5th option. No error. Shall I move on to the next one? It is one of the top nightclubs in the world where many celebrities, underline the word celebrities. Celebrity means what? A popular person, known person. Where many celebrities come for shaking legs. Shaking legs, grammatically there is no problem. But underline the first expression, come to shake a leg. That is the answer, idiomatic expression. One of the meanings, generally it means to speed up or to move quickly. In this context, it means what? To nightclub, what do? They dance. In a way, it means to dance. So what is the answer here? The first option, to shake a leg. That is an idiomatic expression. Please make a note. How many questions related to phrases? 5 or 5? How do you find easy or difficult? How many of you have got 3+? That's good enough. Now this paragraph, parajumble, again easy, should not be a problem. We'll discuss the framework. Tell me, what is this about? Tell me the first sentence. I think I've asked a question. How many of you say D? Perfect. Now what is this about? It is about, please underline, financial services. Building the country's financial services. That is the main idea. How is it? Then the writer talks about 3 different sources. What is the idea here? How to build or building the country's financial services. What is the first one? Now, one sentence you got. How many sentences are there? Total. 6. One you got. The framework, one independent sentence, opening sentence, then one sentence related to one organization, then 2 sentences related to one organization, then again 2 sentences related to the third organization. So what is the broad framework? 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2. How many? 6. You got the first one. Now what is the second sentence? Who says A is the second sentence? That's right. Perfect. Microfinance institutions have only recently started operating in the country. Now, if you have any doubt regarding this, now what is the third sentence? C is the third sentence. What does it say? In addition, about 30 foreign banks have opened representative offices to establish their presence and research the market. In addition to what? Are you guys listening? In addition to what? Microfinance. First opening statement, then independent sentence, microfinance, first source. Second, foreign banks. In addition to microfinance, 30 foreign banks. Please underline, in the second sentence, underline microfinance. Then underline the expression in addition. See the line of thought, continuity of thought. 30 foreign banks have opened. Now, what is the next one? Next one is rather easy. B is the next one. What is the reason? Please underline these banks. These banks represent what? Foreign banks, 30 foreign banks. So what is the sentence number, this one? 4th, obviously. First opening statement, then microfinance. In addition to microfinance, foreign banks, related to foreign banks, how many sentences? 2 sentences. First sentence talks about 30 foreign banks. Second sentence, demonstrative adjective has been used. What is the demonstrative adjective? These banks. Banks noun, these demonstrative adjective. So far clear. So far so good. Then what does he talk about? What is the fifth sentence? He goes to the third source. Here he says, in this sentence 4, even if these banks are willing to invest heavily in building physical branches, the country's large and mainly rural population is spread out. That is a clue. Please underline. Rural population, large and mainly rural population is spread out. Now the line of continuity. Mobile banking should thus be ideally suited to reaching out to this population. This population talks about which population? Large and rural population, which is spread out. So please underline this population and ensuring financial inclusion. Clear? What is the sentence number? 5. And what is the concluding sentence? There's a clue for you. What is it? In fact, if done right, mobile banking has the potential to help the country provide basic formal accounts and payment services to most of its citizens, leapfrogging over conventional banking altogether. Leapfrog means skipping, jumping. Please underline that expression. Leapfrog. That means without touching the conventional banking altogether. They can go to another level. They can use the financial services. I hope you guys are listening. Damn sure about that. Okay. Now what is the last sentence? Who has got the correct order? Disappointing. What went wrong? First one, have you got it right? What is the second one you thought? You thought foreign banks. You thought what? Mobile. No, you have to think of either microfinance or foreign banks or mobile. If, let's say you thought of microfinance, you will get it right. You did not think of microfinance, then you have to choose between foreign banks or mobile. Which one have you chosen? Mobile. Oh, mobile cannot be. What is it? If you have chosen mobile, then how can you use this population? Let us assume you have chosen mobile. Have you chosen F and E in that order? F first, then E, or you have chosen E and F? Now, those who have chosen mobile, first F, then E. If that is the case, what is the answer for this population? This population talks about what? Then there is no answer. Do you understand what I say? Please remember what I feel. This is really very strange. There's a problem with the key, I suppose. Am I right? Forget the key. When I saw, usually I cross-check. Problem with the key, then I check again. I spend more time. Usually one reading, key also same, no problem. Key doesn't tally, then I read again, whether I was right or I am right or key is right. I can't take any chances. Then I make sure my assessment is right, then I tell the students key is not right. Now when I read, how I read, I would like to tell. First I will ask myself, what is this about? What is this about? The first B, what is it about? The key, branding, am I right? Not branding, what is it? Building. Building related to what? Financial services. Then I have to choose. I understand, oh, there are sentences related to microfinance, sentences related to foreign banks, sentences related to mobile banking. First I will try to pair the sentences. Pair. Now microfinance, how many sentences are there? Hope you are listening carefully. Only one sentence, I will keep it aside. Then remaining 4 sentences, I will decide 2 sentences go with foreign banks and 2 sentences go with mobile banking. Then I will think of next step, getting the right order, whether I should use microfinance or I should use mobile or I should use this foreign banks. Then when I think the word in addition, then I will not go for banks, the second. Then mobile, this population, I will see where is, the moment I say this population, there should be something before that. Then it cannot be the second sentence. I will not consider. Then I will consider microfinance. I will take microfinance. First I get the first sentence, then I will decide microfinance. Then I will see, is it mobile or is it foreign banks? Then I will go to foreign banks. What is the reason? In addition, then foreign banks, then it talks about the limitation. What is the limitation? Foreign banks can invest on infrastructure, but they cannot reach a large rural population. And based on that idea, he introduces the solution. What is the solution? In the form of mobile banking. Logical, simple framework, systematic presentation. You should get it right. This one especially, what is the reason? The paragraph is related to what? Belongs to which sector? Banks. It only shows, don't feel bad, it only shows you are not exposed to the style of writing, you are not exposed to the frameworks, you are not exposed to quickly understand the line of continuity, the line of thought, the idea of continuity. How the writers, see any writer, when I give a presentation, I have to take public speaking and writing more or less one and the same. How do they relate to each other? When a public speaker gives a presentation or a speech, he has to take the audience with him in a particular direction, in a systematic way. He has to start somewhere, then he has to take them in a proper way, not in a zigzag manner. Then they follow, they listen, they understand, they appreciate. Then after the session, they say, nice session. If he goes in a zigzag direction, they say, we got headache, he doesn't know what he says, and we don't know what he says. Very simple. Same thing goes with writing. Writing more important. When you start reading a piece of text, you should not think of what is first, what is second. That should not be the focus point. You should worry about what is the message. So when you start reading, the writer, if he or she is a good writer, the reader goes in a systematic way, without any disturbance. He or she reads and it goes on and on and on. No distractions, no deviation, no question marks, no confusion. That means the writer is a good writer. Then how do you understand? Now this is something you all shuffled up. Then how do you know what is the right order? Only way, you have to read a lot and you have to get exposed to the writing styles. That is the reason why I have been telling you people, please read international magazines like Psychology Today, the Harvard Business Review, Management Today, New Scientist, Scientific American, Popular Science, Discovery Magazine, National Geographic Magazine, The Economist, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. When I say this, some students, they smile outside, inside some students, like some movie there's a dialogue, you're beautiful. Not outside, inside. And another dialogue, both inside and outside. So some students smile and it is visible, the smile. That smile is a different smile, not the regular smile. He keeps telling, let him tell, let him enjoy. That attitude. And some people, they're worried, what will master think if I smile? So inside they smile. But do remember, without reading, you can never go to that level. This is constructive criticism. What is the first clause? Without reading, without exposing yourself to different types of writing styles, you never get the awareness. You can never acquire the awareness. Within 2 or 3 minutes, read the sentences and arrange them in the right order. Not that easy. Please understand that. How many marks para jumble? Can you afford to lose every time 5 marks? Then you have to do something about it. You have to work on it. How are you supposed to work? What are you supposed to do? You cannot read every day. That is not practical. What I tell students, read the Hindu editorials every day. That is feasible, practical, and essential. Every Saturday, Sunday, over the weekends, or at least every Sunday, read Economist, 1 article, and one of these magazines, 1 article. Then first Sunday, Economist plus Psychology Today, 1 article, 1 article. Second Sunday, Economist, or in place of Economist, the New York Times. Again, one of the magazines, either Discovery or National Geographic or Popular Science. Like that, over the weekends, try to read 2 international magazines, each magazine 1 article. And nowadays, what surprises me, we are telling you, they are taking from these magazines. The other day, you remember, we got one from New York Times. Previous year paper, that one, mock test paper, previous year paper. And source, the New York Times. Remember I told you. And last 4 or 5 years, SBI has been giving articles from the Economist magazine. Economists, they take the article, they give it a passage. Then what else do you want? You know the source, and you don't touch the source, you expect to get selected. Can it be justified? No way. And one problem, if you have the confidence, the gut feeling, no, I don't have to read all these magazines. I have the confidence, I have the ability, I can get 20 plus English. So why should I waste my time? I'll spend my time on something else. If you think that way, I'm sorry. These days the papers are not like that. Do you understand what I say? You may be convent, I'm telling you very seriously, even convent educated boys and girls cannot handle some of these questions off the cuff, just like that. No longer a cakewalk for convent educated boys and girls. Even they have to read. You won't believe, I would like to give one example. I hope you are listening attentively. You find it interesting, not switched off. 2017, IBPS, RRB PO, the papers were very tough. They gave multiple errors. They gave a lot of questions related to phrasal verbs and sentence forms, affirmative, interrogative, negative. No one expected. Every batch, we have very good students, English point of view. I remember those students. Quant reasoning, I'm not the right person. I don't have to. And one particular boy, he got selected RRB PO, not 17, 18. That success meet, I saw his speak. I was not there, but I saw his speak. He was there. He got the job, probation officer, RRB PO. And this boy, we know this girl is very good at English, this boy is very good at English. So every batch we spot a few students. And that boy, room number 6, that batch, very good at English, convent educated, born and brought up in a city, and pretty good at English. 17, I asked him, a lot of students said, sir, English was very tough. Cutoff could be 2 marks. And that year, the cutoff was 1.75. Do you know that? I don't know what to say, 1.75 cutoff out of 30 or 40. What should we say? And this boy, everyone said, sir, tough, tough, tough. I came across that boy. Then I asked him, how was the paper? I was expecting a positive response because he's good at English. Surprisingly, the boy said, sir, very tough. I could not answer many questions. I could not read many questions. I did not get time to read many questions. I was shocked. Oh, really? Then he gave multiple errors. They gave 5 questions. Each one like a paragraph, obviously. Because 5 parts, you have to spot multiple errors. Then he said, sir, multiple errors, I could read only 3 questions. Imagine a student considered by the master very good at English, doesn't get enough time to read the questions in the exam. What about a normal candidate? They must have read only 1 question out of 5. If this boy could read only 3, they must have got time to read only 1. Very simple. Now, you should understand, nothing is impossible. Please remember, impossible in the word itself, I am possible. But certain things are difficult, certain things are easy. Easy things, you don't have to do anything. Difficult things, you have to spend time, you have to practice, then it becomes easy. But you always say it is difficult, you don't do anything about it. Will you get a solution? Will it become easy? Please answer my question. Now, if you keep on listening to me, 1 month, same song, 2 months, same song, 6 months, same song. But after 6 months also, let me ask the question, how many of you have read articles from the Economist magazine? Raise your hands. Only 1 student. Every batch when I do the orientation, I give these magazines names. Am I right or wrong? In spite of being told, only 1 student has read the Economist magazine. Means what? Another 6 months you're going to come, 6 months down the line. On and off I keep saying, read these magazines. On and off you listen. Take from this side, send it out quickly from the other side. And after 6 months I ask the same question, how many of you have read the Economist magazine articles? Again, we see 1 or 2 students. Is it required? Please answer my question. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the auspicious time? No, that particular day I'm going to start the Economist magazine. Next month on 10th, I'm going to start the New York Times. April 15th, I'm going to start Discovery magazine. Do you have some time slots like that? Then what are you waiting for? How long have you been coming? 2 months or 3 months? More than that? And you should have started. Please don't take things for granted. Today the competition is very severe, cutthroat competition. People are getting eliminated, 0.25 marks. You all know that. And why do you want to take chances? You should always be at the higher level. Read these magazines, you get more than the cutoff, 10 marks. The other day one girl, we uploaded her video, Sneha, am I right? She got selected. Actually, she should get selected and she will definitely get selected. Bank PO. She's very good at English and other areas as well. And last year I thought she would become SBI PO. But this year, she got selected, RRB clerk, I suppose. And now she's waiting for IBPS PO. She cleared mains and she must have taken the interview. She's waiting for the result. She told me, sir, I got 40 marks above the cutoff. Do you understand what I say? IBPS PO mains, this girl, she got 40 marks more than above the cutoff. That's what I call performance. That's what I call standards. Now let's say you got 10 marks. You may or may not, but 40 marks lead, 40 marks more. Definitely, if she gets negative marks, she will not get. She's very good at English. She is very good at communication skills. I'm sure she will get above average interview. And if she gets 0 also, she will get selected. Very simple. That should be the aim. When can you reach that stage? And that girl, in the interview also she mentioned, Murthy sir would, special classes, he would bring articles from the Economist magazine, he would make us read, then he would ask us to guess the questions, then he would tell us important points, likely questions. That helped us a lot. Do you remember? In that video. And she was reading, she would send the message, sir, please tell the source for Economist magazine, and she would send some articles, she would ask me, sir, important articles, not important, what to read, what not to read. You should take the initiative and you have to do something about it. Then you go to the higher level. Every time you come, you listen, you don't do anything about it. Does it serve any purpose? It doesn't serve any purpose. Shall I continue? Sir, please, that is the expression. What are the next? I think we have the last 10 questions. What do they deal with? Cloze, very short passage. Contrary to popular belief, is that the one? Contrary to the popular belief, economic growth may be good for biodiversity. Now, what do you understand from the sentence? Generally, people think economic growth is not good for biodiversity. The sentence says, contrary to popular belief. Please underline that expression. When I say underline, you have to use it in your descriptive paper when you write an essay or a letter. That's what I mean. Contrary to popular belief, a very good expression. Economic growth may be good for biodiversity. Please underline biodiversity. Then he gives an example. Comparisons between adjoining countries separated. Morning also I was telling, underline the word separated. They have given more than 10 times what is the spelling of separate. A lot of Indians think S-E-P-E based on the logic. But what is the correct spelling? S-E-P-A, separate. Underline that and recollect that. Separated by political stability or economic can be. I hope the words are big enough. Celebrated, thought, mitigated, prosperous, instructive. Now, you all know the word celebrated. Does it go in this context? Just say yes or no. Thought, can be thought. Stability or economics, can be thought while not. Does it sound grammatically correct? No. What is the next one? Mitigated. First you write the meaning of the word mitigate. Mitigate means reduce. Reduce. Also write alleviate. Alleviate or assuage. Alleviate or assuage. All are synonyms. Mitigate, alleviate, assuage, reduce. Now the first sentence talks about something. Then the second sentence, he wants to substantiate. He has to substantiate means what? He has to support the starting opening statement. Now, what is the fourth option? Prosperous. Is it relevant in this context? No. What is the fifth option? Instructive. Now, how many of you have chosen the fifth option? Raise your hands. Very good. That is the answer. So, he gives an example. He says that example could be instructive. That means it throws light on what the first statement talks about. So, what is the answer here? By political stability or economics can be instructive. Then hyphen, while North Korea's forests have been shrinking by around 2% a year, then what are the options? Approximately, in, past, consistently, for 20 years. What is the answer here? For 20 years, have been shrinking for 20 years. Preposition related. How many of you have thought for? That is an easy one. South Korea's are stable. Satellite pictures of the island of Hispaniola, whatever the word, in the Antilles, 93. What are the options? Indicates, show, display, feel, evident. Now, here, please underline satellite pictures of the island. Pictures, singular or plural? Then can you say indicates? Mark it wrong. Show, perhaps. Display, perhaps. Feel, is it relevant? Mark it wrong. Evident, you cannot use, because what is the sentence here? Satellite pictures of the island, evident that is not grammatically correct. You have to use either show or display. Both more or less synonyms, but which is a better word? Show. Display, let us take display. What are the other words we have to see? Satellite pictures of the island in the Antilles show that the western side. One, show that. Display that. But here we cannot use the word display. It is not appropriate. So what is the answer based on that? Show. The satellite pictures, word combination, show something. So what is the answer? Please make a note. The second option, show. Are the words big enough? Or you have the hard copy you can make out. Now what is the next one? Blank number. Show that the western side, whereas the western side is 94, declined, estimated, barren, fertile, poor. Now what is the clue for you? Please underline whereas. That means whatever you say here, the other side it should be opposite. One negative, one positive. In this context, this one positive or negative? Yes? Negative. Then what is the word? Barren. Which option is that? Obviously. Here, I will read out the sentence. Show that the western side is declined. Declined also perhaps, hold that one. Estimated, please mark it wrong. Barren, hold that one. Fertile, no, it should be negative because the other one is positive. Poor, don't consider. The western side is declined, but here has declined would be a better expression. What is it? The western side has declined, because decline is what? A verb. But the western side is barren. Barren land, what part of speech is barren? Adjective. Is intelligent, is barren, is fertile. So based on that grammar knowledge, what is the answer? Which option is that? Third option. Next, continuity of that. Whereas the eastern side still has of dense forest. Now already I have decided that is negative, this should be positive. Plenty of, what is the first option? Plenty of dense forest, seems right, hold that one. Conservation, is it right? No, mark it wrong. Reduction, negative word, mark it wrong. Impressive of, that is not the right combination, right expression, mark it wrong. Emergence of, seems right, but hold that one. Now we have to decide between eastern side still has emergence of, that is not grammatically correct. Still has what? Plenty of dense forest. Perfect. So what is the answer here? The first option. Hope you are listening carefully. Next. Economic growth is widely believed to protect, damage, control, survive, extinct species other than man. Opening sentence says what? Popular belief. Economic growth, good or bad? Popular belief is bad. He says contrary to popular belief, it could be good. So here you have to select a negative word. That's why I said, are you listening carefully? Opening statement talks about what? What is a popular belief? Economic growth is bad for the environment. Then he says, contrary to popular belief, economic growth could be good. That means what? Popular belief is, it is bad. Now, based on that, we will see. What is it? Economic growth is widely believed to. Again, negative word. Protect. You cannot use the word protect. It's a positive word. Mark it wrong. Damage species. Seems right. Hold that one. Control species. Not relevant. Mark it wrong. Survive. Positive word. Mark it wrong. Extinct is a negative word. But extinct part of speech. Is it a verb? Or is it, here please underline the preposition to. Then extinct is an adjective. Believed to extinct, is it grammatically correct? No, mark it wrong. Then what is the answer based on that? Second option, to damage species other than man. Obviously, man is always safe initially, but in the long run, who is a loser? Man is going to be the loser. Today, I was going through Popular Science magazine the other day, last week, or I don't remember. You know, bees play a vital role when it comes to food chain. They pollinate the flowers. If bees are not there, no pollination, no crops, and no food. Man cannot survive. Today, bees are disappearing at an alarming rate. The numbers are falling down, the numbers. What is the reason? Pollution, so many factors. But once a particular element is disturbed, we think bees are getting affected, but in the long run, who is going to get affected? The mankind is going to get affected, very simple. It is like you look at the sky and spit, what will happen? You look at the sky and spit, what will happen? It falls on your face. Destruction of environment, the same thing. Ultimately, it results in the same thing. Now, what is the blank number? But as the contrasting fortunes of forests, punctuation, I don't know, which are a fair indicator of biodiversity. Here, enough is not correct. These, but here the punctuation is not correct. Please use, but as the contrasting fortunes of forests, comma, which are a fair indicator of biodiversity. What is the answer here? Which are, again a comma, which are a fair indicator of biodiversity, comma, suggest what? It is not so much growth, but poverty that diminish, reduces, supplements, progresses, boost. Now here biodiversity, you have to choose a negative word or positive word. Context, it is not so much growth, but poverty that, the writer says, the biodiversity gets affected not because of growth, but because of poverty. That means a negative word. Now, what is the word? It is not, please underline, it is not so much growth, but poverty. Poverty singular or plural? Singular, abstract noun, poverty that. Diminish, can you use? Sentence is in present tense, then the verb we should add S or ES. Reduces, seems right, hold that one. Supplements, grammatically right, but context-wise not correct. It's a positive word, mark it wrong. Progresses, positive. Boost, grammatically not correct. So what is the answer? Reduces. Reduces what? Biodiversity. Poverty without growth combined with a large population is disastrous, catastrophic, prohibited, optimistic, illegal. What is the answer? Poverty without growth, that is one thing, combined with a large population is disastrous, How many of you have chosen the first option? Which one have you chosen? Others? Please tell the number. Second option. But if you have to go for the second option, you have to use a catastrophe. Do you see the indefinite article a? That should be there. Based on that, you cannot choose the second option. It is disastrous. It is a catastrophe. Can you see the difference? It is catastrophe, not correct. It is a disaster. If you use a disaster form, a disaster. But what is the form here? It is, are you guys listening? It is disastrous. So what is the answer here? First option, disastrous. And poverty combined with growth can be equally calamitous. See, negative word. But once people, what is it? Help a certain level, not correct. Need a certain level, not correct. Built is not correct grammatically. Attain a certain level of prosperity. Seems right or wrong? Attain means what? Reach. And what is the last one? Acquiring is not correct. What is the answer here? Fourth option, attain. A certain level of prosperity, the benefits of growth to all species outweigh its, whatever it is, disadvantages. Who has got 8 plus this close? 7 or 7 plus? One student, please give them 2, give them a big hand. But I thought you would get 8 plus. 6, 5 plus is appreciable, that is good, I appreciate. But again, it depends on your reading habit. All these one reading, only one reading, you should get the right word before you see the word. But 1 or 2 may trouble, then you have to read the second time. Otherwise, should not be a problem. So how do you find this paper? How many questions have we seen today? 35. How many of you have got 20 plus out of 35? 20 plus. We'll stop here. Thank you.